Welcome back to Cask and Point. Today we are reviewing Dark Arts. Now Dark Arts is a group out of Kentucky that sources their whiskeys from MGP and then sometimes finishes them with some pretty funky things like cognac or Armagnac, or sometimes they just put the juice in the barrel and that's what you get. And today we're trying a 10.5-year pick that's not finished, 112 proof from Liquid Ministry. This is another sample from my good buddy Knack, so thank you so much to him for making this possible. And this bottle sells for about $180, and most of Dark Art's 10-year picks seem to be going for around somewhere between $160 and upwards of $250 in stores. I know Specs in Dallas got a pick of them recently, and people were saying it's really, really good. But these guys, like River Roots, like Rare Character, like Subtle Spirits, like National Beer Company, they source their whiskeys, they put under their label, and supposedly they're doing some pretty cool stuff. So very excited to try this here today. Let's get right into it. So on the nose, it's berry forward. There's some blueberry, blackberry in there, and a little bit of red fruit, some cherries, but nothing too crazy. There's some peaches on this. It's definitely primarily fruity on the nose. There's a little bit of caramel and a little bit of oak. And some rye spice is actually really coming through on that. So it's fruity, it's spicy, there's a little bit of oak, but not a ton. Overall, it doesn't smell super unique. It smells like an MGP product. It smells fruity. It smells good. Let's try it. That's pretty good. Oh yeah. So it starts off fruity. Then you just get kicked with a good bit of heat. And then the finish is a lot of berries. And I think the spice is there throughout, but it doesn't really shine at any particular part in the pour. I think the fruity flavors are the most dominant on this one. That's interesting, but that was the first sip of the day, so I'm going to take a quick second sip here because the first sip really feels kind of weird when you're battling above 100 proof, but that was good. That was good. That was promising. There's the finish wasn't particularly long, which is the biggest red flag I'd give it so far, but let's take a second sip here. Yeah, so there's some dark fruits on this. Berries, there's blueberry, there's blackberry. There's a strong plum note really throughout the pour. And then there's some spice on that. This is pretty good. I'm not blown away, if I'm being honest, but it's clearly an MGP complex pour. I think it's going to get somewhere right around an 8. In our rating system. If this is your first Cask and Point review, I rate everything I ever drink in every review, so we're going to give it a rating. And it's looking like it's somewhere around an 8 right now. But I think its greatest fault is going to be that finish. I think the finish is at best medium length. It's fruity with some spice, with some oak, some caramel, but nothing is really shining to me. Like, it's not like, at least, with Russell's 15, I'm getting like a really dark berry fruit that's so complex that's like throughout the pour. This one is kind of giving me some of the berries, some of the spice, some of the caramel, some of the oak, but it's not really maximizing any of those things, which isn't a bad thing. It's incredibly well balanced, which I think a lot of people look for in their pours. So it's pretty good, but let's take one more sip here and then we'll give it a rating. On the nose, it's definitely turned a little bit more caramel and plum. And those two flavors are really dominating now. It's good. It's very good. Yeah. Yeah. So, I think that's what this pour is about. It gives you the sweetness, it gives you the spice, it gives you the fruit. It gives you all the things you could want in a whiskey. It's not going to blow you away on any of those fronts, but it's super well balanced. It's a short to medium finish. It's definitely in the crushable category. I think there's a lot of flavor on it. I would relate this pretty strongly to like the Mayor Pingries that I had reviewed a few weeks ago, but I would say the finish on those were much longer. And again, I'm comparing 10.5-year MGP to 7-year MGP. So, I think it's a pretty fair comparison, but I don't know, I'm not blown away. I don't absolutely love it, but I don't hate it either. I think it's an overall well-built pour. I think it does multiple things well. I don't think a single one of them is going to stun you, but I also don't think you're going to be disappointed by this. think for 180 bucks, it's probably pretty fair. I wouldn't buy 4 of them or 6 of them. I would probably buy 1, but I think I'd leave it at 1. But it's good. And it's a gorgeous bottle, so that does get extra bonus points. But today I'm gonna rate this a 7.9. I think if it had a longer finish, it would really be in the mid-8s, but it's a short to medium finish. It's doing so many things, but not one is really standing out to me, and that's okay. Some pours are like that. It's a good pour, but that's the video. I hope you all enjoyed it. I hope you have a lovely rest of your day, and I will catch you all in the next one.